Pomiferum. It is having apple-shaped fruit. Then pyriform, again we know that it is pyriform shape, and hence pear-shaped fruits can be seen in this species. Then comes the Pseudium pumilum, that's having higher sugar content, and it is having dwarfing effect. So this please make a note of it. All these dwarfing characters, that is pumilum is having a dwarfing effect, and also this Phrydrus thalianum can be used as a dwarf rootstock. Then comes the next species, that is lemon guava, which is scientifically known as Psidium catullianum variety lucida, and it is used for jelly preparation. Then we have this pineapple guava, which is scientifically known as Feijoa salviana. This please make a note of this also. This and it is also known as New Zealand banana, otherwise known as New Zealand banana, the pineapple guava, scientifically known as Feijoa salviana. Then let's look into some of the rootstocks. Okay. Okay, now let's look into some of the rootstocks that is used in guava. First one is the aneuploid number 82, which is used. These rootstocks are very important for any exams. Like if you take in the case of SRF or JRF, they will be asking these kind of questions. Like aneuploid number 82, it is used as a dwarfing rootstock, which is resistant to wilt and nematode. Previously, I've been telling that Pseudium Phrydrus thalianum, the species that is which if they're asking about the species, then that will be the answer. And even this new aneuploid number 82 is used as a dwarfing rootstock, which is resistant to wilt and nematodes. Then again, Phrydrus thaliana, which is dwarf and is resistant to wilt and nematodes again. Then Pseudium molli, it is resistant to wilt. Pumilum, as I said before, it has got a dwarfing effect. Then Criollo is a new rootstock, which is tolerant to guava rust. Guava rust is caused by Puccinia cd. Okay. So this is what I've been telling in the first slide of mine. I was telling that winter crop is having superior quality. So as far as guava is concerned, not only with guava, also with citrus and pomegranate, Baha treatment is highly essential for inducing for the crop regulation, that is for having or inducing flowering. We need to go for the Baha treatment. So now let me tell you what is Baha treatment. It is nothing but about 1 to 1.5 months prior to the expected flowering, we will be withholding the irrigation. So by withholding irrigation and also by exposing the root to the sunlight or by root pruning. So this is the main technique. Before the expected flowering date, like 1 to 1.5 months before, we will be withholding the irrigation. That is, we don't give irrigation to the plant. Also, we will be exposing the root to the sunlight. So thereby we are creating a stress to the plant. We know that when we create a stress, like in any fruit crops, like if you want to convert the vegetative phase to the flowering phase, then we will have to go for this creation of stress. So through Baha treatment, we can achieve this. And also the next thing, that is after withholding of irrigation, we'll be plowing the soil around the trunk, around the plant, like about 20 centimeter depth we'll be plowing, and then we'll be exposing the roots by removing about 10 to 15 centimeter soil. We'll remove the soil. 10 to 15 centimeter of soil will be removed, and we are exposing that root surface to the sunlight. So what happens is that we are creating a stress, I told you. So the plant will start, the leaf of the plant will start yellowing, and they will shrivel and they'll fall. That is natural. So now what we do is that after this is done, we are recovering that exposed root again. That is that I told you that about 10 to 15 centimeter soil is taken, it is removed. Now the same soil I'll be adding back, and then I'll cover the soil. I mean the root surface is covered, and then we'll be going for manuring, and irrigation will be given. So here what happens is that once you are withholding the irrigation, you're not giving any treatments, just you're creating a stress there. So thereby the plant is under stress, and when after that, after exposing the root surface and by giving no water to the plant, and again when you recover this, that is when you start giving it again by manuring and also by irrigation, what happens? Automatically the plant will start shifting from the vegetative phase to the flowering phase. So we can get flowering very easily in the case of guava. And this is the same practice that is followed in citrus as well as pomegranate. So this Baha treatment can be classified into 3 types. like that is I've given in this table. The first one is the Ampi Bahar. So here we can see the flowering time, that is during February to March, and the fruiting time will be in July to September. So you can see that the flowering coincides in the monsoon time, the rainy period. So obviously the fruits will be poor and it will be watery. Next comes the Mrig Bahar, that is the flowering time can be seen, that is during June to July, and the fruiting will be from November to Jan. So this is coinciding during the winter month. So it will have excellent fruit quality. This is what I have been telling in the beginning, that winter season crops are highly superior when compared to the rainy season crop. Then comes the Hast Bahar, that is the flowering will be seen in October month, and fruiting can be observed from February to April. And again it is having, that is quality will be lower only when you are comparing with the Mrig Bahar. So if a question is asked that the highly preferred Bahar treatment in guava, then you can go for Mrig Bahar. So because that is coinciding, the fruiting period coincides during the winter month, and it is so this answer can be given, Mrig Bahar. Okay. Next, let's look into some of the varieties. First one is the Lucknow 49, that is otherwise known as the Sardar Guava. It is a chance seedling selection from Allahabad Safeda, and this was developed in 1927 in Pune by Dr. Chima and Deshmukh. This variety is tolerant to wilt. To be noted, this is tolerant to wilt, but it is susceptible to bronzing, and it is considered as a national variety. The next one is the Lucknow 46. Lucknow 46. This is having pyriform shaped fruits. And the next is the Allahabad Safeda. It is a popular cultivar of UP. This variety is free from bronzing, and it has got white flesh. And then the next is the Chittidar. Here it is like you can see numerous red spots on the skin. That is due to high temperature, black spots develops on it, and numerous red dots can be seen on the skin of the fruit of this variety. Then the next is the Harija. It is a then there's a red flesh variety which is called as Hafsi. An apple color is another variety which is tolerant to anthracnose and also for fruit canker. Then coming to the seedless guava variety, that is Behad coconut, and also we have the Nagpur seedless also, that I'll be coming to that also. Behad coconut is a seedless guava, and this the feature of this particular variety is that it's got aureolin in color. Aureolin is like it is yellow in color, exactly to say cobalt yellow color. This variety has got, that is aureolin. Then some IHR varieties, that is Arka Mridula. Arka Mridula is a seedling selection from Allahabad Safeda. It is a soft seeded type and dwarfing also. It is having white fleshed. So please note all these white fleshed, pink fleshed, and red fleshed types of guava varieties also. That is also highly essential. Then there is a hybrid that is released from IHR, that is Arka Amolya, which is a cross between Allahabad Safeda into triploid seedless. It has got white flesh. And then two pink fleshed varieties from IHR, that is Arka Kiran and Arka Reshmi. Both are having the same parentage, that is Kamsari local in Kamsari into purple local. Arka Kiran has got the highest lycopene content, and even this Arka Reshmi also has high ascorbic acid and lycopene content. Both are having pink flesh. Then we have another variety called as Arka.
We are unable to see the share. Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Ma'am, please once again share the screen, ma'am.
Hanumant, can you please?
We can't see, ma'am.
Hanuman, can you please share? I mean, like share my PPT so that I can present from here.
Hello, Anju. Screen is going on, but they have to pin. Screen is visible now.
No, but she's telling that
they're having internet problems. You can go through.
No, sir. Even if
now it is not visible. Yes, sir. Even after the pinning, we can't see.
It is not visible.
Visible, sir.
Now the slides is visible now.
It's visible.
please share it.
Yes.
Those who cannot see properly, they can pin the slides to their screen.
Yes, sir.
So what shall I do? Let me continue? Or
yes, you continue. Already slides is moving and slides is visible also.
Okay, then I'll continue. Okay. Please check your connection if anybody is having problem with viewing my slide.
Okay, Anju, continue.
Okay. Then we have this next IHR variety, that is Arka Purna. The character is that this is the it has got this is having largest fruit, that is second largest fruit. After there is a variety that is released from the private sector nursery, that is VNR Bihi. I'll come to that also. So that is having a fruit weight of more than 1 kg. So this is next to it, Arka Purna. This is having this cross between purple local into Allahabad Safeda. Then we have the Allahabad Surka, which is having both the skin and flesh will be red in color. This also has to be noted. Both skin and flesh is pink in color in the case of Allahabad Surka. Then there's a variety called Sangam that is having red color, that is both skin and flesh looks red in color. Then from Hisar, there are two varieties, that is Hisar Surka, which is a cross between apple color into Banarasi Surka, which is having pink colored flesh. Then we have Hisar Safeda, which is similar parentage of Arka Amolia, which is Allahabad Safeda into seedless, triploid seedless. Then from FRS Angaredi, we have two hybrids, that is Safed Jam and Kohir Safeda. Safed Jam is a cross between Allahabad Safeda into Kohir, whereas Kohir Safeda is the reverse, that is Kohir into Allahabad Safeda. Then let's look into some varieties that are released from CISH Lucknow. The first is Lalit. It is a selection from half-sieve population of apple color. It is a pink fleshed variety to be noted, pink fleshed for Lalit. Then Shweta. Shweta is also from CISH Lucknow. It is also from a selection from half-sieve population of apple color. This has got highest TSS with 14-degree Brix, and it's having snow white pulp. And next variety that is released from CISH Lucknow are Dawal and Lalima. And then we have CISH G1, that is CISH Guava 1. It's a seedling selection from Allahabad Safeda. It is a red flesh type. So all these you please note, that is pink fleshed, white fleshed, and all red fleshed. All these types have to be noted. And also some varieties which I told, that is having both skin and pulp as red and pink. That also has to be noted. Then as I told, Behad coconut is one of the seedless variety. And here also we have two seedless varieties of guava, that is Saharanpur seedless and Nagpur seedless. Then we have from TNAU, that is from Trichy, we have one variety that is released, which is an off-season variety called as TRY, Trichy Guava 1. Then as I told before, Arka Purna, which is the second largest fruit in terms of weight. So the first one is VNR Bihi. It is a seedling selection from the Thailand type. As I told, it is a largest fruit. So it is having jumbo fruit size of weight weighing more than 1 kg. Then from FRS Rewa, Madhya Pradesh, there is one variety that is Daridhar. It's a seedling selection. Then we have from GB Pant, that is Pant Prabhat, which is selection from Daridhar, which is having white pulp. Okay, now let's look into some of the introduced varieties of guava, that is Beaumont and Indonesian seedless. This was introduced from Australia. Then Asarapara is from Brazil. Verdi is from USA. So let's look into the planting methods of this. So planting for planting of guava, the normal spacing is 6 meter into 6 meter, and for meadow orcharding, it is actually it is 1 into 2 meter. Sorry, I have made a mistake here. 1 into 2 meter for meadow orchard. Best time for planting is during the month of June, July. As I told, rainy crop we do not prefer much as it is poor in quality and also it is watery. So we need to reduce the rainy crop. We go for deblossoming by the application of growth regulator, that is NAA, auxin compound at 600 ppm plus urea at the rate of 1.5%. Then we go for thinning, that is thinning of the fruits, like we can use NAA again at the rate of 80 to 100 ppm at 10% of flower opening stage. Then bending. Bending is also commonly practiced in guava. So as the name says, bending is nothing but we are bending the branches of the guava like about 45 to 60 days before the expected date of flowering. So this is done to produce flowering, so we can get off-season fruit. So this is the
main meadow orchard spacing 1 into 1 meter spacing, but in many books given 2 into 1.
2 into
Which
1.
one, right?
Yes. Actually, it is 1 into 2, I think, because in handbook also it is given 1 into 2.
No,
It is not.
I think two.
Shankar,
Yes, sir.
Shankar, your question is valid, very much valid, but one thing I suggest you, so
Yes.
Q&A section is already open. So if you want to raise any questions, you can text your questions so that at last she will answer you for your all questions. Okay? So please do that because it should not be disturbed for everyone.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay? Yeah, fine.
So for bending, as I was telling, it is nothing but we are bending the branches of guava. That is about 45 to 60 days before the expected date of flowering. So this is done to produce fruits in the off season. That is the main intention of practicing this bending. And if a question comes, in which variety bending is not practiced, then it is Lucknow 49 because it is having already a horizontal stature. So we need not go for bending in the case of Lucknow 49. Coming to the harvesting stage, we usually harvest it in the green firm stage. Then for long distance, we can harvest it during the half mature stage. The time that is required from flowering to fruit maturity is about 130 to 150 days. The storage temperature of guava is 8 to 10 degrees Celsius at 80 to 90% RH for 4 weeks. Coming to the pests and diseases, first major important disease is the guava canker, which is caused by Pestalochiopsis cedi, which the resistant variety is apple color and Allahabad safeda. Then coming to the next important important disease is the guava wilt, which is caused by Gleocladium roseum and Fusarium oxysporum, former species CD. And already I have told about the species that are resistant to guava wilt. This Allahabad safeda, Lucknow 49 is highly tolerant to guava wilt. Then comes anthracnose, which is caused by, and also guava wilt. It is very common in alkaline soil. And usually the fruits becomes like mummified. Very small fruits you can see when it is affected by guava wilt. Then anthracnose, it is caused by Calototrichum cedi. Then comes the important pest, that is the guava fruit fly, Docus dorsalis. It is a serious pest during monsoon. So this is also one problem, that when we prefer the rainy season fruits, it will be mostly infected by the fruit flies also, and also it will be poor and like watery nature. Then coming to the physiological disorders, we have the important, that is first is bronzing. It is actually a complex nutritional deficiency disorder which is caused by the deficiency of phosphorus, potassium and zinc. This is severe during the rainy months. Then Fascio disease, which is caused by zinc deficiency. Coming to the next important tropical fruit crop, that is pineapple. It is scientifically known as Ananascomosus, belonging to the family Bromeliaceae, with the chromosome number 2n is equal to 50, 75 and 100. It is originated from Brazil, and it has got some common names like heaven fruit, then friendship fruit, then symbol of friendship. All that is some of its common names. As we know, pineapple is a short day plant, whereas guava is a day neutral plant. So this is a short day plant, and it is having a CAM mechanism, that is cresylin acid metabolism is the main thing here in pineapple. We know that it is having that kind of nature. The plant is like that cactus kind of thing. So all these cactus plants usually have this CAM mechanism. Then as I said, it's a tropical fruit crop, and it belongs to non-climatic fruit. This fruit was introduced in India in 15th century, 1548 AD by the Portuguese traders, and it is having an enzyme which is called as bromelain. It is having an average TSS of 10 to 12 degree Brix. The flavoring compound in pineapple is methyl propionate ester. Okay. Then these fruits, that is the pineapple fruits, are developed by vegetative parthenocarpy. As we know, vegetative under the parthenocarpy we have three types: vegetative, stimulative and stenospermocarpy. And under vegetative parthenocarpy, that is the fruits, the fruits are developed, that is seedless fruits develops without the stimulation of pollination and fertilization. So such fruits are seen not only in pineapple, also in banana and in fig, then even in Japanese persimmon also. This crop pineapple is that is West Bengal is leading in production of pineapple. The optimum temperature for the cultivation of pineapple is around 22 to 32 degrees Celsius, and it has an optimum pH of 4.5 to 6.5. And as we know that when we look at the plant, we can see that on the leaves, we can see like the silvery white or green color. It looks like that. The leaves looks like that. So it is because of the presence of trichomes. These are nothing but the multicellular hairs with short stalks. Then these white long fibers that is present in the leaves can be used for the preparation of pinna cloth and cordage. You can see this. This is the pineapple fiber that is extracted. So these are used for making all this pinna cloth. This is for textile industry. It has been used. So from the leaves, it is being extracted the fibers, and it is used for making like different for cloth and also rope preparation. And then pineapple, the fruit type of pineapple is Sorosis. It is a multiple fruit. Then the edible part is Brax imperium. The inflorescence is a compact spike. It consists of 100 to 200 flowers. Then the pollination, it is through ornithophilus, that is by birds. Usually in South America, hummingbird is used for pollinating pineapple. Then coming to the planting materials, we know that the pineapple has like we can go for crowns, slips, and suckers have been used for planting pineapple, but the best planting material is slips. Then these leaf cuttings can also be used for planting pineapple. Like when micropropagation techniques are also employed. Coming to the, and also we need to know when the fruit matures when we go for these planting types. Like when we go for crown, it will take about 16 to 18 months for fruiting, for maturing. Then for slips, it will take about 20 to 22. Then for suckers, it will take 24 months. So this is a thing. But the best planting material is slips. Then sucker weight, if you see, for planting we can use about 500 to 700 gram weighing suckers can be used, and for slips 300 to 400 grams. The ideal spacing is 22.5 into 60 into 75 centimeter. And for the planting, we can there are two types. Like we can either go for a single hedgerow and also for double hedgerow can be used. But the best one is the double hedgerow because it will give higher yield, and also the quality is even more better when we go for the double hedgerow planting. So in double row planting, what we do is that we dig a trench, and then that is in 2 rows we will be planting it, 2 rows, but it will be in alternate. That is the one row will be exactly opposite, but it will be in the it will be like in a triangular manner. So like that, you can just imagine it. I didn't put a picture here. So it will be like exactly opposite. The rows will be opposite, but in it will be like a triangular manner. In the middle of each row, it will be going. Yes, zigzag manner, exactly. In a zigzag manner, it will be planted. Then coming to the single row, single row system can be used for ratoon cropping. So here we can know that even ratoon cropping is possible in the case of pineapple as like banana. Then earthing up is also an essential operation because in order to prevent lodging, this is highly essential. In the case of single row system, this is the main disadvantage. That is, there is a chance for the plant to lodge. So earthing up is highly essential in the case of that. And also there will be maximum, that is the sun scald problem also is very common when we go for single row system, because too much exposure of the fruits to sunlight is common in the case of single hedgerow when compared to the double hedgerow. That is why double hedgerow system is considered to be the best planting method. Then earthing up is also highly essential operation. As I told, to prevent lodging, we need to go for earthing up. This is also practiced in the case of banana. Then when we look into the high density planting system in the case of pineapple, the number of plants per hectare ranges from 53,000 to 63,000, in that approximately in that range we can see. And coming to the D leaf, this is also very important question. That is for tissue nutrient analysis, which is used. This question I have not seen a question paper without this question there. So D leaf is very common because, and also we need to we have to note that at 45-degree angle, this is also very important to be noted. And this leaf is having maximum physiological activity. That is why we are using this leaf, D leaf. Then the best source of nitrogen in the case of pineapple is ammonium sulfate. Let's look into some of the species. The first one is the Brazilian pineapple. That is, it is considered as the ancestor. That is scientifically known as Ananas microstachys. Then there is a tetraploid. As I told, the chromosome number is like 2n is equal to 50, 75, 100 are also there. This species, that is Pseudo-Ananas, is a tetraploid which is having a chromosome number 2n is equal to 4x is equal to 100. It's a monotypic species. That is, only one single species is present in this genus, Pseudo-Ananas sagittarius, and this species is crossable with pineapple. To be noted that this is having no crown. So this is a crownless species, and also this monstrosus is also a crownless species. The next species is this Ananas rectifolius. It is a fiber yielding. As I told, fiber can be extracted from the leaf. So it is a fiber yielding species, and it has long spineless leaves. Then coming to the next species, that is Ananssoides. It is having high sugar and acid. It is resistant to nematode, wilt, hard rot, and root rot. Then Ananas bracteatus is also resistant to wilt, hard rot, and root rot. These are very important, as in the case of pineapple. Like pineapple wilt, hard rot is very important disease to be noted. So this species is resistant to all these. Then that is Ananas nanus, as the name says, it is dwarf nanus, and it is used for ornamental type. Okay, now let's look into the important groups. This is also very important. That is, the first one is the cane group, which is vigorous. It is having spineless leaves. The fruits are cylindrical, and it is resistant to gummosis. Some of the varieties that comes under this group are Q, giant Q. As cane group, there is a variety called cane, that is smooth cane. Then Charlotte Rothschild and Hilo. These are all the varieties that comes under cane group. Then comes the queen group, which is highly used for fresh consumption and not suitable for canning purpose. The varieties are queen, repliqueen, natal queen, Mauritius, Lacquard, and Jaldab. Then next group is the Spanish group. It is a dual purpose type. That is, it can be used for table purpose, also for canning purpose. It is a hardy fruit. Then it has got round fruit here, whereas this one in cane group, it is cylindrical. Then this Spanish group is highly suitable for export purpose. The Spanish group, as it says, the varieties also has the name Spanish there. Singapore Spanish, Red Spanish, and Masmara. Masmara is a variety that is selected from Singapore Spanish. Then Cabizona. Cabizona is a natural triploid. It is also known as bullhead. Then next group is Abacaxi group, that is having spiny leaves, which is to be compared. That is, cane group has spineless leaf, whereas Abacaxi is spiny leaves. It has got conical fruits. Here it has cylindrical fruits. Then it is suitable for fresh consumption. And the varieties are Sugarloaf, Abaca, Pernambuco, and Perola. Then the final group is Maypure group, that is having smooth leaves and has round to cylindrical fruits, and it has yellow or white flesh. Some varieties are Legrija, Montelirio, Marquita, and Randon. Now let me talk about some varieties. As I told in this group, so I'll be explaining some varieties, features of these varieties. First one is the Q group, that belongs to the cane group. So Q variety is fiberless. It is a late variety. It is a leading canning variety. Then the smooth cane, it is a artificial triploid. So as I told, the species that is Pseudo-Ananas sagittarius, or the Macrodontus, that is now it is Macrodontus. Formerly it was known as Sagittarius, Pseudo-Ananas sagittarius, which is a tetraploid. Here it is smooth cane, which is an artificial triploid with a chromosome 2n is equal to 3x is equal to 75. It's a shy suckering variety, and it is having spineless leaves. Then this variety, that is the Charlotte Rothschild, is a hybrid that is developed by embryo culture. This is also to be noted. This comes under the cane group only. Then Hilo is a variant of smooth cane. It produces no slips. Then coming to the queen group, we have some varieties, that is Queen. It is an early variety, and it is used for dessert purpose. It has small fruits. Then the Repliqueen is a selection from Queen. Okay, James Queen or the Z Queen is a tetraploid variety. This is also to be noted, is a tetraploid variety, James Queen or the Z Queen. Then Mauritius variety that comes under the Queen group, that is Mauritius. It is a mid-season cultivar and it is mainly grown in Kerala. Then Jaldab and Lakkad. These are these three, that is Simhachalam. All these are indigenous varieties. Jaldab is having sweet alcoholic flavor. Lakkad has a sour taste. Simhachalam is a local variety that is grown in Andhra Pradesh. Then, as I told, Masmara is a variety that belongs to the Spanish group, that is a selection from the Singapore Spanish. Then comes the Cabezon or Bullhead, which is a natural triploid variety. Then the Sugarloaf, that is the sweetest and most flavored fruit, coming under the Abacaxi group. Then we have two hybrids, that is Josephine. JOSA, just corrected, JOSA, Josephine is it is the first hybrid that is released in the world. That is, it was developed from MARDI, Malaysian Agriculture Research and Development Institute. The first hybrid, if they're asking, it is Josephine. And from India, the first hybrid was Amrita. It was released from KU Thrissur with the parentage Q into Repliquine. Then we have another variety, that is Yeppoon Gold. It's a clone of smooth cane. And also this variety is sweet and it has less fiber content. Then we have two more, that is PR 156. It like you just have to compare these two, that is PR 156 and 67. This has got spiny leaves, whereas this is spineless. It has white flesh in 56 and pale yellow flesh in the case of 67. This is resistant to mealybug. This is tolerant to mealybug. Then there is a variety that is called as Vazhakulam pineapple. This has got GI tag in 2009. This is a Mauritius variety belonging to the Queen group. So Vazhakulam is actually a place in Kerala. So this GI tag is for Kerala. This variety is like if they're asking the state, it is in Kerala only. Okay. Then this coming to the disease management, as I told, pineapple wilt is very important to be noted. It's a viral disease. So when you see wilt, you should not think it is fungus. So it is caused by virus, which is transmitted by the lace mealybug, Pseudococcus brevipeps. Then coming to the heart rot and stem rot caused by Phytophthora parasitica, soft rot and fruit rot caused by Ceratostomella paradoxa. Then yellow spot, which is caused by tomato spotted wilt virus. It is transmitted by thrips. Coming to the physiological disorders, we have multiple crown. As the name suggests, there are more than one crown in the fruit, and the most susceptible variety is Q variety, that is belonging to the cane group. Then next physiological disorder is sun scald. This is due to the exposure of the fruits to extreme sunlight. Then we have black heart or internal browning, that is exposure to lower temperature. Then we have the collar of slips, which is due to the high application of nitrogen fertilizer, which results in the incidence of, or in this kind of physiology, that is collar of slips is observed. Then application of the growth regulators, if you see, that is to enhance the fruit weight, NA application is suggested at the rate of 200 to 300 ppm. Okay, coming to the uniform flowering, as far as pineapple is concerned, it has got a staggered flowering, that is there will not be any percentage urea plus 0.04 percentage of calcium carbonate. Please note this is very important. So like why we are applying urea is that, so we need to know why we are applying all this. So urea is mainly to increase the absorption of this absorption of erythritol. So the plant has to quickly absorb it. So when for any plant, when we apply urea, the main role of urea is to help in quick absorption of the chemical. So that is why we go for application of urea along with another chemical. Then calcium carbonate, as it helps to stabilize the pH. For maintaining the pH, the calcium carbonate has been applied, and this percentage has to be noted. 25 ppm erythritol, 2% urea, and 0.04 percentage of calcium carbonate. The harvesting time in the case of pineapple is around May to June. And for canning and distant markets, fully matured fruits are harvested. And for table purpose, we can harvest the golden yellow color fruits. Coming to the maturity index, flattening of ice. So this is the best maturity index in the case of pineapple. And coming to the specific gravity, it should be in the range of 0.98 to 1.02. Then looking into the storage temperature, with a temperature of 7 to 8 at 80 to 90% RH, it can be stored for a period of 4 to 6 weeks. Next, let me talk about another temperate fruit crop, that is peach, which is scientifically known as Prunus persica, belonging to the family Rosaceae. It's having a chromosome number 2n is equal to 2x is equal to 16, and its origin is China. So we need to look into this also. That is, amygdalin it is present in the seed, whereas pronacin is a compound that is present in the pulp. The predominant acid that is present in peach is malic acid. Then about 40 to 50% of oil is present in the peach seeds. Comparing with the other fruit crops, temperate fruit crops, peach is having a self-compatible nature. That is, it is able to fertilize its own flower. So we know that in the case of temperate fruit crops, most of them are like self-incompatible nature. So though self-incompatible, hope you know what it is. It is the inability of the fertile pollen to fertilize its own flower. So here the pollen is fertile, but it is not able to fertilize its own flower. So it needs an additional support. It needs an extra pollen source. So we need to go for planting of pollinizers there. Pollinizers are nothing but the male parent or the pollen producing parent. So we need so in the case of temperate fruit crops, we will be placing or planting pollinizer varieties in the orchard. So for as far as peach is concerned, it is having a self-compatible nature, and also the fruit type is drupe. That is to be noted. In the case of apple and pear, it is pome, and peach, plum, all this are having a fruit type that is drupe. Coming to nectarine, nectarine is also coming under the same species, that is of peach. It is scientifically known as Prunus persica, variety Nuci-persica. It's a smooth-skinned peach or fussless peach, it is called, and it is evolved as single recessive gene mutation. It is evolved by the recessive gene mutation. Then we have a natural hybrid, that is Prunus behemi or Prunus nira, which is a cross between almond into peach. Peach is a crop that is highly susceptible to iron deficiency, and an important peach breeder is RH Sharp. So this also you please note. Some varieties like Florida Queen or Sun Red was developed by him, RH Sharp. Then as we consider the temperate fruit crops, a temperate crop that requires heavy pruning. If they are asking, then it is without any doubt we can say it is peach. And the best time of pruning in the case of peach is while mid-winter, that is December to Jan. This crop is having, that is, the limiting factors for peach cultivations are high water table and spring frost. And to prevent the spring frost damage, we go for the application of GA at 200 ppm, or even ethafone is also recommended. Then in coming to the training system, this is also to be noted, that is, peach is having a training system of open or vast system. Like comparing to the other crops, that is like apple and pear, we have the modified central leader. This was also dealt in the morning class. So training system for peach is the open or the vast system, and also detrot release are also suggested training method in the case of peach. Then coming to the chilling requirement, as far as temperate fruit crops are concerned, it needs a chilling requirement for flower initiation. For peach, like among temperate fruit crops, the lowest requirement is for peach, that is about 200 to 850 hours. Coming to the propagation, it is tea budding. Then looking into the spacing, it is 5 into 5 meter. For high density, 3 into 3 is recommended. For meadow orcharding, 2 into 1. And for detrot release, as I told, it is having a spacing of 5 into 1. This detrot release was developed by Chalmer and Vanden from Australia. These people are from Australia, and this was developed by these people. Coming to the rootstocks, these are very important. That is Nema gourd, as the name says. Nema gourd. So it provides resistance to root knot nematode. It is a cross between Prunus persica into Davidiana. Then Myron, It is a cross between Helsiana into Yunnan. It is tolerant to drought, root knot nematode, and verticillium wilt. Then we have two series, that is GF series, Grand Ferret, that is 557 and 677, which is a cross between, it is peach into almond. It is widely used rootstock for peach as well as for almond. This GF series was developed by Bernard in 1965. Another rootstock, that is St. Julian 1, is a salt-tolerant rootstock. Then next we have Mariana. It is a cross between Prunus domestica into Munsoniana. It is a nematode-resistant rootstock. Then coming to next, that is a dwarfing rootstock, Rubira. Then we have another rootstock which is vigorous called Debale. Now let's look into some of the varieties of peach. We have three, that is early ripening, mid and late. Under the early ripening, we have Florida Prince, Pratap, Red Heaven, Stark Red Gold. Then under mid, we have Alexander, Sharbadi, Julie, Alberta. So these are some mid varieties, mid-season varieties, and late JH Hale. Coming to the low chilling varieties, so these can be recommended for subtropical hills, like we can go for planting these low chilling varieties. Some varieties under this category are Early Amber, Florida Sun, Florida Queen, Florida King. Sharbadi is also a chance seedling from that was developed at Saharanpur. Then we have Saharanpur Prabhat, then Sun Red, then Florida Queen. So as I was telling, this peach breeder, that is R.H. Sharp, has developed this variety, Florida Queen and Sun Red. Coming to the dwarf variety, there are two varieties, that is Red Heaven and Candor. Please make a note of it. Dwarf variety, Red Heaven and Candor. Then as I told, nectarine is also very important, like when we deal about peach. So for nectarine, some varieties are Sunrise, Sunlight, Sunripe, Sunred, Sungrand. Then some male sterile varieties are also there in the case of peach, that is JH Hale, Alberta, Julie Alberta, Canoka, Giant. Coming to the hybrids of peach, as I told, Candor, which is a dwarf variety, is a cross between Red Heaven into Early Red Free. Then we have Dixie Gem, it's a cross between Admiral Dewey into St. John. Then Red Globe, it is the same parentages of Dixie Gem, but again it is crossed with Fire Glow. This variety is Dixie Gem is free from stone. So that I'll be telling, we have free stone and also clinging stone in the case of peach. So this Dixie Gem is a freestone cultivar, freestone hybrid, and then Red Globe, this hybrid is suitable for canning and freezing. We have this Red Heaven, again, which is a dwarf cultivar, that is a cross between Hale Heaven into Cal Heaven. Then Saharanpur Prabhat, which is a cross between Sharbadi into Florida Sun. Then recent hybrids, it is Regal, Gala and Glory. Regal is resistant to bacterial canker and cold. Then Gala is also there in the case of apple, which is an off-season cultivar. So there is also a variety that is also a hybrid in the case of peach, which is having the same name, Gala. Then coming to the pest and disease management, the first one is the leaf curl aphid, which is Brachycordus helichrysii. Then peach leaf curl, that is Daphrina deformans, to be noted. It has naked asci. Then bacterial gummosis, which is caused by Pseudomonas species. Then we have there is a disease, that is peach short life syndrome, which is caused by the ring nematode. As I told that under peaches we have the freestone and the clingstone. The freestone we have some varieties like Florida Sun, Alberta, JH Hale. Under the clingstone we have Florida Queen and Sharbadi. Then also we have white fleshed and yellow flesh types. This yellow flesh it is due to the presence of xanthophyll. So white fleshed we have Sharbadi, Prabhat. Then in the case of yellow fleshed we have Florida Sun and Shani Punjab. Coming to some of the physiological disorders, the first one is the inking or staining, that is due to the abrasion damage along with the heavy metal heavy metal contamination. This physiological disorder is observed. And then we have internal browning or woolliness or chilling injury, which is where the late season varieties are highly susceptible. The next important physiological disorder is splitting and gumming. So this is due to prolonged dry period and rains. That is suddenly when after a very long dry spell, when we get a rain, this problem is observed, splitting and gumming. Then sun scald, sun scalded is due to the overexposure of the fruits to sunlight, and for this we can recommend line painting and shading of the branches. Okay, next important temperate fruit crop, that is the plum. Scientifically, we have European, Japanese, and American plums. So under European, it is scientifically known as Prunus domestica, and for Japanese, it is Salicina. For American, it is Prunus americana, belonging to the family Rosaceae again. So for European, it is a allohexaploid, that is 2n is equal to 6x is equal to 48, whereas Japanese, it is diploid, it is 16, 2n is equal to 16. Origin, if you see, for the European plum, it is Europe, and for Japanese, it is China, and for American, it is originated from the North America. Coming to the chilling requirement, European plums have need high chilling hours, that is 1000 to 1200, when compared to the Japanese, that is 700 to 1000 hours. The fruit type is again drupe, as like peach. Then the inflorescence is fascicle. Coming to the propagation, it is tea or shield budding. The edible part of plum is the mesocarp and epicarp. Okay, now coming to the introduction, that is, this fruit was introduced by Mr. Alexander Coutts in 1870 to Himachal Pradesh. Then the famous plum breeder is Luther Burbank of California. Then there is there is a term that is called prunes. Prunes are nothing but, that is, these plums are dried with or without fruit, or without fermentation. It can be with fruits or without, that is, with stones or without stones. When the fruits are dried, that term is called as prunes. And also protogyny condition is observed in the case of plum, as like banana, pomegranate, fig. Also we can see, and also ananas species except muricata, we can observe protogyny, and also sapota, where we can see protogynous condition. Protogyny is nothing but it is a mechanism that favors cross pollination, and this term refers to where the gynoecium, that is the female part, matures before the androecium. So this protogynous condition is observed in the case of plum. Coming to the flower color, that is, in the case of plum, we can see the greenish white, whereas in the case of peach, it is pink flower. And the flower color in plum is greenish white. Then we can see that is suppressed climacteric fruit. As it was told in the morning class, the categories, that is based upon the rate of respiration, we can classify the fruits into three, that is climacteric, non-climacteric, and also we can say suppressed climacterics are also seen. That is, when we are comparing to climacteric fruits, the response of the fruits to ethylene will be half, it will be half to that of the climacteric fruits. That is called suppressed climacteric fruit, and it is mostly seen in the Japanese plum. Some varieties like late Sanderosa, Roysum, and Castleman are some varieties that is having the suppressed climacteric nature. Then the Japanese cultivars are usually self-unfruitful, and they require cross-pollination. So they are not able to set fruit, that is, they become self-unfruitful. With its own pollen, they are not able to set its fruit, so they require an additional pollen source. So they require cross-pollination. And also Japanese plum, most of the plums that is originated, it is from Japanese plum only, which we see in India. It is all from all belonging to the Japanese plum, and this kind of plum requires fruit thinning. And some agents, fruit thinning agents, are dinitroorthocresol, then 3-CPA, then ethafone. All these are some agents that helps in thinning of fruits. Coming to the rootstocks of plum, we have St. Julian C, Myrobalan 29C, which is vigorous rootstock. This Myrobalan 29C is resistant to crown gall. Some dwarfing rootstocks like Pixie, St. Julian K. So we know that when we go for dwarfing rootstock, it is highly useful for high density planting. Then coming to the resistance to nematode, some rootstocks like Mariana 2624 and Mariana GF 8/1 is resistant to nematode. Then we have Brompton, which is another rootstock that is cold hardy. Also, we have some interspecific hybrids in the case of plum, that is plum cot, which is a cross between plum into apricot, pluodes, which is a cross between plum into apricot into plum, apriums, it is a cross between apricot into plum into apricot. Then we have Sanderosa, that is Salicina into Americana. Then domestica, it is a cross between, this is the European plum. Prunus domestica is a cross between Cerasifera. This is called as a myrobalan plum or cherry plum. Cerasifera into Spinosa. Spinosa is called as blackthorn sloe. So this is the cross for European plum. Now let's look into some varieties that are under plum. For the European types, we have green gauge, yellow gauge, President, Victoria, giant prune, golden drop. All these are some of the varieties. And when we consider European varieties, the most widely or popular variety under the European plum is the Victoria. Then we have Japanese varieties like Beauty, Mariposa, Santa Kelsey, and Satsuma. Some self-fruitful varieties. I said self-unfruitful. Japanese plums are usually self-unfruitful. There are some varieties are self-fruitful also, like Beauty, Mariposa, Santa Rosa. So these are also used as pollinizers also. Okay, self-fruitful varieties, self-unfruitful varieties like Kelsey, Eldorado, Formosa, Golden, Transparent. As I told this, some variety that is. For self-fruitful varieties, like 30% of the flower sets into fruit, whereas in the case of self-unfruitful, 1.5% of the flower sets to fruit. Like some low-chilling cultivars also are found in the case of plum. So these can be recommended for like the subtropical climate conditions. Alucha purple, Titron, Kala Amritsari, Satlaj purple, Alubukhara are some of the low-chilling cultivars. Then there is a transgenic plum cultivar which is resistant to the plum pox spotty virus. This cultivar is known as honey sweet. The first plum pox virus resistant transgenic plum was Jojo. Then as I told, prunes, it is the dried form of the pulp plum with or without the seed. So some varieties of prunes are Italian prunes. Then we have President, Green Gage, and Jefferson. Coming to the physiological disorders, the first one is the Kelsey spot or the heat spot or calyx spot. As the name suggests, heat spot, it is due to the high temperature incidence, and also because of boron deficiency also this disorder is observed. And this disorder, we can see that on the fruits, purple spots are observed. And because of deficiency of boron, we can observe misshapen fruits are seen. Then the chilling or the freezing injury, it is due to the prolonged exposure to the temperature below freezing point. And then when we look into the it is the TSS at the time of maturity, it should be around 12.5 degree Brix. It is also a climateric fruit. Then coming to the storage temperature, it can be stored at 0 degree Celsius for a period of 2 to 4 weeks. And coming to the grades under plum, based upon the fruit size, there are 3 grades. That is special, grade 1 and grade 2. Under special, the fruit size, that is in mm, it will be like 42 and above. For grade 1, it will be, the fruit size will be from 36 to 42 mm. And for grade 2, it will be below 36 mm. Coming to the another last temperate crop, that is kiwi fruit. It is scientifically known as Actinidia deliciosa, belonging to the family Actinidaceae. Earlier it was placed under Delineaceae family. So now it is in Actinidaceae. It is having a chromosome number 2n is equal to 6x. It is autohexaploid. And it is 58. 6x is equal to 58. The origin is South China. Please make a note. Many make a mistake here. South China. It is not New Zealand. So other names are Chinese gooseberry, then Chinese miracle fruit we can say. Then it is horticulture wonder of New Zealand, national symbol of New Zealand. These are some of the common names of kiwi fruit. As I told, this fruit was earlier placed under the family Delineaceae, but Lindley in 1836 gave the name Actinidia because you can see that when you cut the fruits, you can see that radiating like styler kind of nature. So because that is Atkiss means race. So that thereby it was given the name Actinidia by Lindley in 1836. This fruit is dioecious, to be noted, dioecious fruit crop, and it is deciduous in nature, deciduous vine. Then it was first planted in Lal Bagh at Bangalore in 1960 as an ornamental vine. It was planted, but it did not flower because of the chilling requirement. It did not satisfy the chilling requirement, so it did not flower. So coming to the composition of oil and protein in the seeds, it is 34% of oil and 15% of protein. It is having fruit type that is berry. Coming to the propagation, it is through hardwood cutting, and it is having a special peculiar system of training system that is called as T-bar. As you can see in the picture, it's like it is having a T-bar kind of nature, that is like you're planting the plant, that is the vines, the cuttings will be planted in between the two poles. First we need to erect the poles at a spacing, that is the distance between the two poles will be around 6 meter and a height of 1.8 meter, like concrete poles or iron pillars can be erected, and we are planting the cuttings in the center. But initially what we have to do is that the vines are allowed to grow as a single stem by giving support. We will be planting, and once it reaches, it is just like the pandal system only, but here we are using two poles. That is the only difference. There it will be like in a we'll be planting it one corner here. So this is in between the two T's. We will be planting the cuttings, and once it reaches the wire net, they'll be nipped off, and two leaders will be allowed on opposite direction, and it will be allowed to train. So this is the system of training in the case of kiwi. So it is T-bar system. Also pergolas are also tried, but in questions we can see the T-bar system. It is commonly asked. Coming to the growth curve, it is having it is triploid. That is it is triploid. That is it is having a triploid growth curve. When compared to other, this is an exception. Kiwi fruit is showing a triploid growth curve. Then coming to the chilling requirement, it is having a chilling requirement of 700 to 800 hours below 7 degrees Celsius. Then as like other fruit crops, like in the case of pineapple, I told bromelain, and in papaya we have papain. So in fruit crop, in this kiwi fruit, it has an active proteolytic enzyme called actinidin. Then as I told, it's a dioecious crop. It is it has both male and female plants separately. So it has to be planted in the ratio of 1:9. That is, male and female ratio is 1:9. 1 male for 9 female, like that. There is a species called Actinidia argueta, which is a cold tolerant species, and this crop prefers an acidic condition, acidic soil with a pH of 5 to 6.5. For proper pollination, it requires about 8 beehives per hectare. This is same in the case of almond also. It requires 8 beehives per hectare. Then the total phenotypic gender expression. This is also to be noted. It has 6 phenotypic gender expression. Like we can see, different forms are seen in the case of kiwi. There are 3 types, like that is soft head kiwi fruit, we can see stiff head, and also there are spiny kiwi fruit. So under these 3 categories, like we have different former species like Chinensis, Jingshanensis, Rufopulpa, like that. So so the total phenotypic gender expression in kiwi fruit, if they're asking, it is 6. And coming to the grades, we have 2 grades, that is grade A and grade B. Based upon the fruit size, we can classify them. That is, under the A grade, the fruit size will be like 70 gram or above. In the case of B, it will be ranging from 40 to 70 gram. That is fruit weight. Fruit weight will be 70 gram and above in the case of A grade, and under B grade we have 40 to 70 grams. And in the international markets, for minimum that is the minimum weight for export purpose is about 72, but usually 100 gram of weight is preferred. Then some physiological disorders in kiwi fruits are flats. Some different kind of names we can see here: flats, funds, all. So flats is nothing but the width will be more than the length. So we can see a different kind of that is, the fruit shape will be abnormal. More width you can see than the length. Different that is called as flats. Then funds is nothing but the fruits that is formed from fused flowers. So they used to have a shapeless, that is, the fruits become shapeless, in this case funds. Then next physiological disorder is the drop shoulder, where as the name suggests, drop shoulder, the one side it will be lopsided, that it will be it will be like it will not be in the normal shape. One side of the fruit will be lopsided, one sloping away abnormally. So this also will give a not a uniform shape fruits because of this kind of physiological disorder. So all these are some problem because of the improper pollination. So we need to we need to go for we need to plan the pollinizers, then also this honey bee hive installation, all that should be proper in this kiwi orchards. Only then proper pollination will occur, and this kind of physiological disorders can be minimized to some extent. Coming to another physiological disorder, that is hardcore, where the fruits, when the fruits are exposed to ethylene or carbon dioxide above 8 percentage, this hardcore symptom is seen. Looking into some of the varieties of kiwi fruit, as I told, we have both male and female plants separately. The staminate or the male cultivars, some varieties are there. I've listed out. That is Allison, Tomori, and Matua are staminate cultivars, and in pistillate cultivars we have Monty, Bruno, About, and Hayward. Even Allison comes under pistillate cultivar. Then we have this Bruno, as I told, which is a pistillate cultivar, is a rich source of vitamin C. Another important variety, that is Hayward. Hayward is most popular cultivar in the world. This has to be noted, but it is shy bearing, but it has maximum keeping quality. Shelf life is higher in the case of Hayward, but it is shy bearing and also a very popular variety in the world. Coming to self-fertile cultivars, we have two, that is Blake and Isal. These are self-fertile. Then there is a hairless smooth bud mutant of Hayward bud mutant, which is hairless smooth bud mutant, called as Top Star. It is another cultivar, Top Star. Then Wilkin Super A is another cultivar which is having very large size fruit. Then a variety, another cultivar that is having low shelf life, that is called that is Gold Enza Red, is a selection from Hongyang Chinese cultivar. This also to be noted. It's having low shelf life. Then normally it is green fleshed inside. So here are some exceptions. We can see some golden yellow fleshed cultivars, that is called as Hot 16 or the golden kiwi fruit. It has yellow fleshed flesh inside, and a red fleshed cultivar is also there. It is Hot 22D. It's a red flesh type. Then some low chilling cultivars like Elmwood, Vincent, and Summer Kiwi. So these are also seen.
Very nice, Sanju. Good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And we do have a Q&A section. So in the right side corner, the bottom of your screen, you can find the three logos, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Question and answer. Q&A. Yes.
Yeah. So in that you can find some more questions. So you can pick one by one and you can go on answering for that.
Okay. Actually, it is not 140-degree bricks. It is 14-degree bricks only. Why urea is not used in pineapple? It is used. Why urea is applied? Like in the case I was telling, na, for the uniform flowering, we are applying urea also in that mixture. For the quick absorption of the chemical, we will be applying urea. It is Shweta, high TSS variety. Yes, but in some books I have seen, I think it is in Gloucester, it is given as Chittirar. But it has, Shweta is highest. Can you explain what is 2n is equal to 3x? So this is, in the case of pineapple, I told that that is the smooth cane variety.
Artificial triploid.
Yes, it is artificial diploid.
Artificial triploid, smooth canine variety.
Exactly. 2n is equal to 3x is equal to 75 it will be. Which pineapple variety is suitable for canning? Q variety. Meaning of triple sigmoid growth curve. If you see the growth curve, we can see like single, double, and triple. So this is based upon the you can the peaks you can see, that is
Ethylene.
exact ethylene peaks. Because of the ethylene peaks, you can see 3 peaks here. That is why it is having three peaks. That is why it is called as a triple. I will tell you more on it if possible.
Ammonium sulfate is best, na?
Huh.
Because in case of that muriate of potash is there, na? If you use that muriate of potash, it will cause the that burning symptoms. So that they use this ammonium sulfate.
Okay, okay.
So muriate of potash you use it for
But it is potash.
but this is for
Potassium source, na?
nitrogen.
But this is nitrogen.
That is also potassium source. That's why they will use this ammonium sulfate. This is best. This will
Yeah.
not cause any burning symptoms. If you use
Toxicity symptoms is like. Okay, okay.
Yes, yes.
I'll share the PPT. In Baha treatment can be changed means stress for same duration or altered. Actually, no. For Baha treatment, as I told, for 1 to 1.5 months before the expected flowering, you are giving a stress there. That is, we are withholding the irrigation, and we are not applying any fertilizers, nothing. We are just exposing. So after this period, we will be again giving back all this, like, after the exposure, after giving stress, again you are applying back everything, the fertilizers, irrigation, everything you are giving back. So what happens? Automatically the flower will shift. So there is a change in that from the vegetative to reproductive. Is that your
Yes.
question? Is okay?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, na?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah. Tell me.
Ma'am, nectarine in peaches due to single dominant gene mutation or single recessive gene mutation?
It is recessive gene mutation.
But ma'am, in some books it is given that single dominant gene mutation.
Yes. But yes, you are right. It is given in some books, but it is actually due to the single recessive gene mutation that causes nectarine. That is this fussless peach. You can see smooth skin peaches here.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, please, ma'am.
Please send.
Yes,
Yes, sure. I will be sending it. Yeah.
Hello, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Tell me, Shankarlal. Yes. Tell me.
Ma'am, you tell Sarbati is a variety of your white flesh variety, but in some book given yellow flesh variety. And which one, right?
Which one? What? I didn't get you. Once again.
In peach, Sarbati is you tell white flesh variety, but in hen book give yellow flesh varieties. Sarbati.
Hanamand.
Yes. Peach is, I think, white, yellow flesh variety is correct, not red flesh.
Sharbati.
Sharabati and another one Prabhat is there, na?
Prabhat.
Prabhat is
White
white
flesh,
color. White flesh, and
Sharbati is-
and this one is yellow fleshed one. Correct.
Okay. So it is clear. So I made a mistake there.
Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am.
I'll clear it. I'll correct it.
Hello?
Hi. Yes.
Tell me.
Ma'am, in Gloucester's book, white fleshed variety was Sharbati and Prabhat was mentioned.
Yes, yeah. It is given as that is yes. In Gloucester's it is given as white fleshed as Sharbati and Prabhat. You're right. But in handbook I think it is different. So let's go with that only. Okay, ma'am. Because we cannot. Let's do not read on.
Clarify. Wait. I will clarify. You read mandatory books. Don't go for this instant and Glasters. Before going instant and Glasters, we have to look into about that mandatory books. The T.K. Bose book and another one, P.K. Roy, like that. After reading those books, and you get after that you refer the instant and Glasters. You will come to know which one is correct and which one is wrong.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Because these are stable. Means you can even claim for the questions when we are using the ICAR publication books. That is why he's telling that. Go with instant. Go with the TK Bose or handbook. That is highly preferred. You can use that one.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
I will be sharing the.
No.
Ma'am, from where the slides we will get?
What? Yeah, Shika.
मैम आपने बताया मिनिमम चिलिंग रिक्वायरमेंट पीच में
I have read in almond. I have read in
Almond.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Actually, temperate fruit crops, just if you see the fruit, but actually the right answer is almond only. Like if you see with the like if you see with just the fruit crops, temperate fruit crops, not the nuts. If you consider, then we can say peach is having the lowest chilling requirement.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but almond, if the option is given as almond in there in the question, you can go for almond only. That is
Okay,
having the
ma'am.
lowest
Okay,
chilling requirement. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
As I have not dealt with almond, I just skipped it. Like when I am considering with the peach alone, so I said that statement. It is having
Yes,
lowest
ma'am.
chilling requirement. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, ma'am.
Another question is in pineapple physiological matured leaf is called a D leaf. Can you answer this one?
Yes, it is. It is called as physiologically mature because these are the leaves which is very young, and you can see like if you see the nutrient. Yes, for estimating the nutrient, like how much we need to apply and all that to the plant. If you observe this leaf, we can give an estimate. Like we can find the actual estimate how much we need to apply for the plant. So that is why it is the physiologically active leaf stay. I mean the mature leaf we are saying for D leaf, not with any other leaf.
Okay, Anji. Thank you for your good presentation. Yeah, PDF will be shared.
Yes, sure.
After the completion of all classes, we will share. Don't worry.
Ma'am, on that, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, did almond have high heat units or chilling hours, low chilling hours, ma'am?
Which one?
Almond.
Almond?
Almond, did low chilling hours or high heat units, ma'am?
It is high heat units.
Okay.
And it has lowest chilling requirement. Like when compared, like when we see all together, no, like as I told, for peach we say that it is having low chilling requirement, but if almond is given the option, then we can go for it. Almond has the lowest chilling requirement.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.